It's crazy out here. It's extremely windy and we're gonna go check out some mines. This place is full of them.
I'm on top of a mountain deep in the heart of Mexico. In all directions, there are mines scattered across the landscape.
Pues es una de las riquezas más importantes del estado, la minería.
But it wasn't always like this.
I'd also like to welcome here the representatives from Mexico and Canada.
In 1994, Mexico joined NAFTA, opening up international investment in the mining sector.
Well, for me, there are two histories. One is when the mining was only for Mexican investors, and then when we began to have foreign investors in 1994.
With regulations loosened, foreign companies flocked to Mexico. And that brings me to Defiance Silver's option of the Lucita project. In a place where you can almost find silver blindfolded, Defiance has tripled their land holdings. Their expanded San Acacio project now includes Lucita in one of the most productive silver regions of the world. I'm putting my boots on the ground to examine the rocks but also meet the team.
Wow, so just arrived in Zacatecas. It's been a trip already. It's been a big adventure. So yeah, ready for some coffee now after this red eye.
I met up with the local team who wanted to show me around the city. Let me introduce you to Miguel, the geologist with decades of local experience.
I began to work in 1974,
Oh wow, yeah.
a long time ago.
Before going to Lucita, Miguel wanted to show me La Bufa, a popular tourist site in Zacatecas. It quickly became clear why. Just driving along the highway, you can see several places where the road cut into the mineralized systems.
This road was opened almost 8 years ago with the idea to do more easy the access, crossing the city. And then this road gave us the chance to see the different veins that cross from west to east. You see the alterations there. Some dikes on the other side.
This city sits on top of a few different geological formations with mineral deposits everywhere you look. The prevalence of silver here really became clear when we got to the top of La Bufa.
One of the main tourist places in Zacatecas.
All right, I'm standing on La Bufa, probably the most historic point in Zacatecas, in all places in Zacatecas, because this is where Pancho Villa fought the Federales and won, and that's why there's the church behind us, really historical building, but also there's the La Bufa vein right behind us there, and it dips right underneath the mountain or into the mountain here and continues, and it's one of the very many parallel structures here that the companies are chasing. There's not just Defiance Silver, but many others are in the district, and those veins are the gold/silver that we're looking for.
Even at this tourist attraction, there was exposed mineralization everywhere.
These are rhyolites, and there are fracturing with veinlets in these areas, in this area, here, like this.
Yeah.
The alterations, here.
Driving up, we drove past really visible outcrops and veining. Like one of us is right behind us, is La Cantera, and they're actually ziplining into the mine. But also there's a highway if you look to the left, and it cross-cuts quite a few veins and structures. It's really easy for geologists to pinpoint what is happening in the district and to follow up what is going on here.
It's easy to see how Defiance's option of Lucita is a big deal, especially after seeing how prevalent the mineralization all around the city is. Since the acquisition was so recent, the company's geologists are still mapping on the site, and I followed along.
We're standing on the Lucita property, and we're watching some geologists at work. And it's a rare site, but they're down there mapping. And quite excited to see that and see geologists out in their natural habitat. We're going to take a closer look at what they're doing actually now.
Defiance optioned the site from Pan American Silver in December of 2020.
Really interesting to follow geologists through the field here because it's ultra tough conditions. There are thorns everywhere here. I don't think it's pleasant, super windy as well, but those thorns are nasty.
Jennifer Roskovsky, Defiance's principal geologist, explained what her team was looking for.
Kind of walking along here, mapping what is the rock type, what kind of structures are present, because there's a lot of like the cover's not thick here, but all this like colluvial material just gets in the way. But in the creeks, like you have really good outcrop, and also you just see way more rocks. You see rocks the whole time, and this is like kind of more or less the orientation of the Lucita structure.
So we're just exploring the Lucita project here a bit. We stumbled across some mine workings here. The artisanals are still active here, taking out some higher grade stuff out, it seems, because why would you? You don't want to move any rock that you're not mining or making money off of. And it's great, like Doug is just hammering away at some rock here that they must have taken out of the mine, and it looks quite mineralized, on surface at least, without having assays, obviously. But it's exciting to see what they're getting out of the ground here. It's exciting, something exciting to follow up for sure. Doug, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you?
Oh man, I like to overthrow.
Yeah.
And particularly the presence of amethyst. A lot of this really big crystalline amethyst is late, but it uses the same structures. And that's what we see in Veta Grande and in San Nicasio as well. This is the first time I've seen amethyst anywhere in this like project area. So I think that's kind of cool.
Cool to climb down and see where it came from.
How does it look like in there?
Well, we didn't end up climbing down the deep pit because A, I value my life, and B, that's what summer students look for.
They're not moving any rock that doesn't pay them. It's not highly mechanized, it's very manual labor, and that means there's high-grade silver usually in there, otherwise they would not do it. So just wrapping up here at the Lucita project in Vein. We're still on the Lucita project, but we're heading over to Palenque. That's where the company's drilling right now. They're doing triple tube drilling and oriented core drilling. So I've seen oriented core drilling, but I haven't seen triple tube drilling. Quite excited to learn more about that. So.
This is slow, organized, and methodical drilling. Based on Pan American's old exploration efforts in the area, Defiance is continuing to outline an initial resource. I'm not going to get too technical here, so keep an eye out for more videos looking at how Defiance is using triple tube and oriented core drilling on our YouTube channel. Drilling is the culmination of exploration work, and everything else before should lead to this. As Doug explained to me, it's all about removing the risk in this project through good geological fieldwork and well-planned drilling.
Actually, if you look left to right, we got the town of Big Vein, the town of Veta Grande. The Veta Grande open pit right there, old tailings facility. And right behind it, where you can see the power lines in the distance, that's the Lucita project of Defiance Silver. And it goes all along the hill line. And the drill we've just been to is just roughly right there. So really nice prospect ground in a super prospective area. Like obviously lots of mines here, like you wouldn't believe. Like the land of 1,000 mines, I called it earlier. And it's fantastic, really, really interesting to see.
This really is the land of 1,000 silver mines. The interesting thing about Zacatecas is that this place would not exist if it weren't for the Spaniards looking for silver in the 1500s. The history of silver mining here is visibly scattered across the landscape.
What does the government do to support mining in Zacatecas?
For years, in Zacatecas didn't want mining companies because it was a tourist city. But it's not enough, only the tourists. We need more invest in other fields, and the mining is so important. And now we see that we are doing that, and then it's possible that we can have good times for mining in this state.
O sea, Zacatecas, yo casi aseguraría que es el segundo lugar más importante en minería en todo el país. Somos productores de plata de lo mejor, ¿no?
Se fundó precisamente por la minería, para extraer oro, plata.
Yo creo que si tú preguntas en cualquier casa de la gente de antaño aquí en Zacatecas, no hay familia que no haya tenido a alguien trabajando en las minerías.
Pues es una de las riquezas más importantes del estado, la minería.
Entonces, el futuro en minería de Zacatecas es básico.
It's good for us, like as Mexicans, and also to approach the invest coming from other countries.
So, Doug, what's your business plan? What's the end goal here in 5 years or so?
At least within the main Veta Grande vein system where we're looking for, around that 50 million ounce number. Currently, we're 17 million ounces silver, almost 20 million ounces silver equivalent. So I think we're well on the way, and we have demonstrated that there's a lot of vertical extension and there's lateral extension possibilities. Augmenting that with adding value to the existing infrastructure we have in place, which is a ton of underground working, which is what we're doing right now in the next couple of weeks, is going and accessing those underground workings to see what's usable, what's not usable. That's going to give you sort of the baseline for what you need to do in the next steps in a PEA or any type of scoping study on the project. In the district, we are looking for 100 million ounces of silver, or we're looking for the equivalent in whether it's copper and gold.
All right, so we're back here in Vancouver now. It's been a few weeks since our trip to the San Acacia project in Zacatecas, and I have to say I was impressed with what I saw there. A, I've never been to Zacatecas. It really is the land of thousand mines. But B, I was really impressed with the geological team as well, Jennifer, Doug, and Miguel as well. They're really methodical, mapping, trenching, and all that good stuff. And it looks like they got a real project on their hands, 17 million ounces already. I think they can grow it. Hell has to freeze over if you don't find any more silver on that project. And what I liked about it as well is optionality. We saw on the project that there's other mills in the area that are dormant right now. So that gives the company the option to go into production fairly quickly if they decide to do so. They're fully cashed up. I'd love to see some more drilling, but I think that's up to the company and the methodical approach. Really excited about what they're up to this year. So 2022 could be a banger of a year for the company. Or Palinko. Palinko, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Well, look, over there is the Basilica, 4.8 on the Google. So we're going to inspect that one later. All right, take 25 because I can't get my words straight.